Sterling Holmes of Stacking the Box and Fansided, joined now by Pro Bowl Rams wide receiver Puka Nacua. Puka, how are you?
Life is good. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm doing great over here, and you're doing something awesome right here. Your partnership with Pepsi. You have a really cool event coming up as well, giving back to the local community. Can you talk more about your partnership with Pepsi and this awesome event you're doing?
Yeah, so Pepsi and the Rams are teaming up again for something that I've been able to be a part of called Friday lunches. So this Friday, we'll be going to visit Casita del Campo, a restaurant, a family-owned restaurant in Silver Lake. For over 60 years, I've had the honor to meet Robert, the owner, and try some of the good food that they have over there. Me personally, I'm kind of a picky guy, but I had the steak piccata over there, and it was fantastic. So, but the Rams and Pepsi are going to be picking up the tab for the first hour, so everybody can come get some free food and come get to hang out. We'll be there for 2 hours, kind of giving some gear away, just hanging out and enjoying the environment over there.
Oh, that's a bold move that first hour. I might have to fly from KC to LA to come grab some. If they're
That's
picking
what
up
I'm
the tab,
saying.
that
Yep, that sounds like a great time. We'll book it now.
I do want to talk just very quickly since this just happened. Your practice window opened up. I'm one, congratulations, happy for you. Let's get let's
I
get
appreciate it.
let's get the injury part out of the way early in this interview. But how has that been for you? You know, going through an injury, seeing the Rams have been banged up. Obviously, Cooper Cup yourself, but what is that like not being able to play after your performance as a rookie? All of a sudden, sophomore season, expecting to break out even more, then the injury happens. How hard is that?
Yeah, it's definitely tough, and injuries is part of the game, but something that you never try to let dictate the way you play. But then being able to find, I guess, the positive side of it, being able to invest in other relationships on the teams. You never wish injuries upon anybody else, but like you had mentioned, we had some alignment go down. So, and somebody in my rookie class, Steve Avila, guys like Tyler Higbee who are coming back from injury, and then just being able to have a positive environment in the training room was something that was able to keep me going and keep me fine when you see other guys who are going through different injuries. DK, had the ACL injury, so you just see everybody going through their battle and like, man, I can make it through my battle as well. So gave me a lot of confidence just being around the guys.
Yeah. Uh, Something fun here. Your family lineage is just incredible. It's absurd. You guys are all athletes. This is ridiculous. Like your cousins are athletes. So what is like the Thanksgiving? What's that look like for you guys? You're playing football in the backyard. All of a sudden, Panay Sewell swings around and he's
Yeah,
blocking
pretty much
someone.
everybody starts working out and kick steps and stuff like that. But I mean, that's what you're saying. There's first of all, there's a lot of food for sure. As you can imagine, man, they're feeding all these boys, man. It was tough, but yeah, it's a great time. But then there is the football talk. Everybody's the volleyball. Everybody's moving around, and there's a lot of trash talk going on. But it's always a good time.
Yeah, I bet the trash talk is legendary.
Yeah.
He's got to start. It's not politics. It's trash talk about which team's better than which. That's the fun type of dinner right
Yeah,
there. For
exactly.
you, what was the hardest transition, or maybe an aspect going from college to the NFL that was more unique for you? Obviously, you had a phenomenal rookie season, being a Pro Bowler as a rookie. But what was that transition like?
Um, I guess it came fast and being like, man, I went from being in college classes to hanging out with the guys and then to go to do the combine training and just like how fast it kind of transitioned to be like, man, I'm just doing football now. Like this is what I get to do and like how much you kind of have to restructure kind of your process and thinking and be like, man, like this is my day is centered around I wake up, try to be if I'm trying to be one of the early ones at the facility, like man, you gotta get here at before 6 o'clock because I mean guys
Oof.
start rolling in. So it's like, man, and then we have practice in the afternoon. So it's like you finish at 4:30. It's like, man, I was going to bed. I still go to bed at 9:30. So it's like, man, if we finish at 4:30 and I get treatment, which will at least an hour. So it's like, man, I'm getting home at 6:37. I gotta eat dinner. My girlfriend's just getting off work. And then it's like, man, the time to communicate and every hour feels precious because I'm like, man, if I'm not paying attention, I won't talk to anybody when I get home and I'm going to bed at 9:30. Like that's a hard set. So I'm like, there could only be an hour and hour and a half for us to talk. So it's gotta be important and we gotta be efficient.
Lay the groundwork. Hey, I'm sorry, I'm busy right now. Someone's got to play some football. Someone's got to
Yeah,
play wide
exactly.
receiver. Someone has to do it. But just this is a little interesting for me, a little behind the scenes, I guess. So you're obviously on the West Coast out there, Pacific time. So if you're doing a 6 a.m. workout over there, when you're playing on the East Coast, how much of a change is that for you guys?
Yeah, that's why I feel like sleep is a big thing. So like especially when we travel, being able to try to figure out what's the best game plan to sleep maybe during the flight if it's not ideal to sleep during the flight when we travel out the day before. So it's like, man, I can go to sleep in that night. But I feel like normally on Sunday, like there's not too much of a change. I mean, at least for me, like I like staying hydrated. There are things that you can do. Getting out in the sun, but getting some grounding in, get a little barefoot in the
Yeah.
in the grass and stuff like that, get a little dirty and trying to reset the system. But it is it yeah. Traveling to the East Coast, I guess. Yeah, last year we played New York at the end of the year, but it's nice because I mean, man, you get a 6 hour flight. I'm like, I'm sleeping no matter what, honestly.
You're the lucky man that can sleep on the plane, not me. I can't happen. Can't swing
Oh
that.
no, yeah, that is tough.
Is BYU one of the most underrated college football programs? I mean,
Right
seriously.
now, I agree 100%. They're a sleeper right now.
But like, what's going on? Like, obviously, you going to BYU. There's been so many great players that have gone to BYU, but they're never seemingly given the credit they deserve. I'm here locally in Kansas City. I saw K State. K State's a great football school. They played great this season. They got waxed when they got to BYU. What is it about playing at BYU and just the team this season?
Yeah, I think there's something about going up in the elevation, man. When you get to Provo, there's a little bit to it. You see the mountains, and then it's you're playing at 7 o'clock at night, and you're like you got to wait all day, and then everybody comes out, and man, BYU the Rock, and they got the great setup over there. There's nothing like, I mean, I think it's one of the most beautiful. I played at the University of Washington as well, so it's like, man, I've seen some great backdrops of being like, man, there are a few things like Bont Lake, but man, when you get down there at the base of the Wasatch Mountains and stuff. There's something about the mountains that maybe make an echo and it gets a little bit louder.
All right, I want to get a little final football one for you here. Okay, with all these new NFL, I don't want to say new because it's back to the 80s here, but the too high safety look. It seems like a lot of defenses around the NFL are trying to stop the big plays. As a receiver, how do you attack this? How do you try and change your style of play for what defenses all of a sudden are starting to throw at you?
Um, Shoot, I guess that's a little bit don't necessarily try to change my game of play, but being able to game plan, I guess, like, yeah, just putting more pressure immediately vertically, where it's like, man, if you're going to play too high safety, man, we're going to make you back up and feel like you have to guard 70 yards down the field. And then we hopefully that we can be efficient in the underneath stuff. Cause man, if that's how you're going to play, we have the opportunity to get faster guys against linebackers and the change of direction. Um, but man, that's why I think when you hit a safety in the run blocking 5 or 6 times hard enough, he's gonna be like, man, honestly, I don't want to guard him anymore. So it's like, man, you try to steal the wins when you got him.
Puka Nacua, noted run blocker. He's a grinder out there. One more time, just this thing you're doing with Pepsi, this great partnership you have, and this great event that you're hosting on Friday.
Yeah, Friday. This Friday we're going to visit Casita del Campo. We're going to have actually a check presentation for $10,000 that the Pepsi and Rams have donated, and then from 12 to 2 we're going to be doing free food giveaway for the first hour, some gear giveaway, and getting a try the meals at Casita del Campo. Hang out with me. I'll be out there from 12 to 2. Hopefully sign some stuff for some of the Rams fans, and then everybody have a great time headed into the weekend.
Rams wide receiver Puka Nacua. Puka, really appreciate it.
Thank you.